This is Maya. Maya's a spider monkey, and Maya was actually
Forgot
found
the
in a garbage
scene
dumpster in
and
Los
to turn my
Angeles
camera
almost
off.
20 years ago. She came to
Happy
our rescue
50th.
zoo in pretty bad shape. You see, sometimes people think they're gonna make a wild animal like this into a house pet, and it never works out. Maya is just one of over 200 rescued animals we have here at Zoo to You. They come to us for all kinds of reasons. Illegal pet situations, animals found abused or abandoned, and even permanently injured native wildlife. Maya now gets a second chance at life, being an ambassador, traveling to school groups, over 300 schools a year, to teach kids about conservation and the rainforest. Not only do these animals find a permanent, loving home here for the rest of their lives, they also get to come out and be ambassadors to their wild cousins. These wonderful animal ambassadors create a passion in people that can't be created any other way. Not with traditional lecture, not with video, not by anything other than meeting them up close and learning their stories.
You can watch my show on TV. You can read a book and see the animal pictures. You can see the pictures on a wall of animals. You have a slideshow. All sorts of things you can see. One thing you can't do though is feel it. You have to feel it. You have to smell it. You have to sometimes touch it.
What makes us unique here at Conservation Ambassadors is these animals don't just get stuck in a cage forever. They all get to come out. They get to go places to teach people and touch lives. Our unique ability to house and care for almost any species of animal has brought us some very unique critters over the years. This is a slow loris. You've probably never heard of one. Not many people have. They live high in the canopies of Southeast Asia and are rarely seen by humans. Here's the problem. They are so darn cute. Since people have discovered them, they have been exploited to the point where they are an endangered species. His reason for being here is simple: education. It's just as important for conservation as research or habitat protection or propagation. Besides providing a permanent loving home for all of these rescued animals, our mission is to educate learners of all ages about wildlife and wild places. We are now in our 25th year, and we have educated an entire generation.
We just love what we do so much because we love reaching people. The greatest compliment you could ever have is, you know, David, you affected me so much at your place when I was little.
It is so rewarding to meet people whose lives we touched over 2 decades ago become veterinarians, animal welfare officers, zoo professionals, and conservationists around the world. When people meet these animals up close, they fall in love with them, and love creates action. We're so lucky to be able to go back to the same schools year after year and see kids start projects like Pennies for the Rainforest or local area cleanup, cans for critter drives, all sorts of things to connect them with nature. You know, 80% of us are now living in urban areas and have no connection to nature. Our need for connection to nature is more important than ever. We all know virtual reality is replacing reality. We need to turn this around, and you can help us.
Hooray! Donations that have already come in: Conch with $23, Johnny with 15, Anonymous with 50 said congrats on a lifetime of conservation and 50 podcast sharing with the Pog Champs, and Mac with $10. We're already at $98.71. Thank you guys so much. 50th episode tonight. Razor with another 50. 50 for 50th. I like it. Thank you so much. Your donations are going directly to Conservation Ambassador Zoo to You tonight. If you guys recognize that name, it's because we've talked to them before. Sammy has been on the stream before. If you saw that stream, you know that she's a good friend of mine. Ovi, thank you for the 5 months. Farmer with the 2. So, you guys saw in the video, Zoo to You is a very, very, very special organization, has a very special place in my heart. That is where I fell in love with exotics, and that's where I found my love for birds as well. Oh, thank you, Andrew. James with the 10, thank you. I had no interest in birds prior to being an intern at Zoo to You. Danza with 50, thank you so much. Yeah, I had no interest in birds prior to my internship and my volunteering at Zoo to You in college. That's where they had a bird of prey yard, and I really started liking birds there. I fell in love with falconry there as well, and I fell in love with lots and lots of different animals, and that the organization has truly changed my life. It gave me the most impactful summer of my life, and probably the most impactful summer that I'll ever have. So I'm super Andrew with a 50, thank you so much. I'm super happy to have Sammy on for our 50th episode. I also thought that it would be good. Spoon! Thank you for the $100 donation, Spoon. Jeez. Roach with 50 and Rodney with 5. Thank you. Jeez. $413.71. Gosh. Okay, they're flowing in right now. Warber with 50 as well. Thank you so much. Okay, I thought it would be really special to have Zudiu on tonight for our 50th episode, because Zudiu exclusively takes care of permanently injured wildlife or illegal confiscated pets. So all of the animals at Zudiu are educational ambassadors. You guys are very familiar with that term. Cordy with the $5, thank you so much. Koopa Steve with $177.77. Koopa! Thank you so much. SMK with $50. Monka, Tara with $50. Thank you, Tara. Jeez. Monkaroo with $100. This is insane. Monkaroo with $100. T-Bones with $50. Monkaroo, thank you for constantly donating to this podcast. It means a lot. T-Bones, thank you for the 50. I think y'all broke the... Or no. It's already collected them. Razor with $35. And Orr with $50. Sammy just texted me and said she doesn't know how to add me on Discord, but we're already friends. I don't know who I messaged then. $981. Holy cow. Okay, so all of the animals that reside at Zudiu... Oh, crap. Are non-releasable educational ambassadors. I talk about that a lot on my stream. I talk about it on Instagram as well. What that means is that they're not releasable, so the only other alternative to euthanasia is for them to be trained to be comfortable around people enough to be brought out to programs to teach people, kids, adults, whatever, and inspire them to care about their species. That's why they're called an ambassador for their species. Cindy, thank you for the $19. 1K! Jeez! Okay, thank you. Weird. Okay, I thought I had added Sammy. Give me 1 second, because I apparently messaged somebody else. I think. Alright. Okay. Okay. This will also be a fun podcast because Sammy is one of my really good friends. Probably one of my best friends at this point in my life. She's always there. I ask her questions all the time. She's a falconer. She works at the zoo. She's grown up at the zoo. So she's really awesome. And I thought it would be cool to just, talk to her and relax and have a good time. So we're meeting 4 educational ambassadors today. Sammy's going to be on Discord mobile. So hopefully that works out for both of us. Falconer talk, yeah. So we'll meet some birds today for sure, but I won't spoil too much of it. Cal with 50. Thank you so much. And Space with 50. Thank you. All right. Without further ado, can anybody guess what this drink is? You should know if you've been around. That's right. It's Kool-Aid. Little shout out to Kool-Aid here. Thank you for supporting the streams the past few streams. This is my beverage of choice for the night. I'm very excited about it. Cherry is my favorite flavor. You can go to my Instagram story and swipe up if you'd like a link to get more. Matthew with the $10, Conch with $27.27. We're at $1,187.75. Again, going directly to Zoo to You today. We're gonna call in Sammy here and talk about Floppy with $100. We're gonna talk about where these donations are going specifically, and how it's gonna help the zoo, especially an organization that relies so heavily on doing public programs and going out with COVID. They've been hit pretty hard. So another organization that's really going to be benefiting from this podcast. Fujito, thank you for the $1,300. That's got to be a record. All right, I'm going to call Sammy. I will be back in just a few minutes. And by a few minutes, I mean probably 60 seconds. Thank you, guys. Sammy!
Okay, I'm gonna try and set this up as best I can.
Okay.
But I'm totally in my living room.
It actually-
I see you in a blanket right now.
It looks fine. I mean, I know. Hang on, chat. You can see it in a second.
Okay.
Nice.
Back a little bit.
Brilliant.
I'm
Hello!
on my couch. So
Yay! We get a very special show from Sammy tonight. She had a long day of work. That's why we're doing it a little late, but...
I've been up since 1:30 this morning.
What?
As
Why?
I usually am.
What? 1:30? What?
1:30, so I have to wake up super early to get to my job. It's about 3 hours away. And then I drive there and I work anywhere between 8 and 12 hours doing natural pest abatement. Sorry, you can hear my little baby hawk that you'll meet in a little bit
Oh my god.
in the background. And at a compost plant taking care of right now anywhere between 6,000 and 10,000 seagulls.
Oh my god.
And then I drive an hour and a half to an hour and 45 minutes back to where I'm staying at a friend's house to sleep.
You're
But I had to
out of
drive
your
3 hours
mind.
there and 3 hours back today, plus work 10 hours, plus go do everything else I need to do because David's gone from the zoo, so I'm just filling in gaps and it's been a day.
okay. You're insane. Could you turn
So you get me
down?
in my jammies.
Nice. Can you turn down my audio a little bit? Because I guess there's an echo on your end. I don't hear it, chat, but
How do I do that?
just like turn down the volume on your device, like your phone. Just like
Sorry, when you get to see my
it
face.
might be you. It's not her. Okay, now you're fine then. I guess it's me. You
Okay.
guys are saying it was her. Okay, are we good? Okay, I think we're good. I don't know. It sounds fine to me. Okay. James tipped $50. Sammy, we're at $1,432.
Dude, I am like freaking out. I've been watching it come through on my phone while I've been like connecting, and I'm like, oh my god, how am I gonna make it stop while I'm going? Oh my god, thank you guys so much. Like, you have no idea how much it means to us. Oh god,
It's
I
nuts.
can't even get the fucking video right. I'm so sorry.
You're fine.
I'm
it's-
trying so hard.
It's got to be a record. I told them about Zoo to You. I told them a little bit about my experience and what you guys do, but probably best for you to introduce yourself and then for them to hear it from you.
Okay, hold on. Let me try and get this thing on some sort of cadence. Hi, everyone. I'm Sammy. As Maya explained, so I work for a company called Zoo to You, or Conservation Ambassadors, and we have been running for 30 years officially this year. And my parents started it before I was born. I was born in 1993. They started it in 1990, and it is a nonprofit 100% rescue zoo. And we don't stick animals in cages for the rest of their life. They don't get gawked at by people. We're not open to the public. You don't get to just walk through and look at animals, which is great. Don't get me wrong. wonderful. But what we do is we get to take it a step further, and we get to bring animals out and show them to people and make you fall in love with them, because if you don't know it, you don't love it, and if you don't love it, you're not going to do anything to save it. And really, by saving animals, you're really saving yourself, because if I were to like snap my fingers right now and all of the people were to fall off the face of the planet, animals would do great. But if I were to snap my fingers right now, and even bees, just bees, let's just say just bees, were to fall off the face of the planet, we'd have 48 hours to survive.
I've never heard that number. What the
48.
hell?
48 hours to survive without bees. They say that we could, if it were just honeybees and not the rest of them, they say that we could survive for like 3 to 6 months. But if it were just bees, but if I were to snap my fingers right now and all the animals were to fall off the face of the earth, we would not survive. And so our whole entire goal is to take these animals and give them a second chance at life and bring them out to meet people up close and personal and just make you fall in love with them, which is like the easiest and the best job in the world, because like how easy is it to fall in love with an animal? But my other favorite part of the job is getting people to fall in love with things like cockroaches and spiders,
For sure.
and stuff that are not the like the typical things you would fall in love with, but the things that I've fallen in love with doing my job, and the things that we do still really need and that we should really respect and fall in love with as well.
Nice. Geology rocks. Thank you for the 50. $1,482. Lovely hash browns with another 50 that got us past our 1,500. Sammy, you're so damn articulate. I always forget. Whenever she presents, I am like 1/100th of the presenter that Sammy is, but anything that I have, I've learned from her. Just like watching her. You're so good. It's so sick. Okay.
It's a job.
I hear Bruno. I don't know how you live with that, but it's cute.
Oh my god. He's so lovely, and he's been so, as you hear him right now, he's been so lovely, but I've been working on a compost plant doing natural-based pest abatement, natural-based bird abatement for Recology, which is one of the largest compost and recycling and landfill plants in the U.S. And so they try to do natural abatement for the birds instead of putting out pesticides and like any sort of poisons or anything, or doing big like explosions to take care of them. And so they try and hire us falconers to take care of stuff like that. And so Bruno is my new little trainee, and he's only 4 months old. So he has taken up making the same noise that the tractors make as they're backing up every day.
Oh my god.
So it's lovely.
He's so cute.
You want to see him?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's get it started. So her saying abatement, have you guys heard of it before? Have you guys heard of abatement? I think I've briefly talked about it on stream. Yes, no. Okay, so one of the big things, one of the many things that falconers do is abatement. So they're hired to go to places like Sammy was talking about, like Recology, to do pest control. So their birds, they train their birds to scare away pest birds like seagulls, pigeons. Oh my god.
Bruno?
Bruno! I've never seen him before.
I'm sorry, everyone.
You're good.
I'm trying to balance this on my remote, too.
Oh.
Oh, buddy.
Look at those legs. Oh my gosh.
Aren't they sexy?
Also, chat, we usually don't swear on the podcast, but there's no stopping me and Sammy from swearing when we talk, so it's gonna happen. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, sorry, everyone.
You're good. Continue. Okay, so Bruno.
So this is Bruno. We named him Bruno Mars. Okay, for a few reasons. We researched a bunch of different names, and me and my boyfriend finally landed on that name because we were listening to a bunch of songs while we were naming him, and the Bruno Mars song, I can't remember which song is it, but they're like Silky Smooth and Soft, or Silky Smooth and Snap.
I feel like that's all of them.
No, they literally say it, and he is literally the most cuddly, sweet.
Dude, you're like a chicken. What the heck?
I told you.
Sammy, my bird.
He is the weirdest. Like, okay, chat, everyone, this does not happen. You don't have a bird that's this nice just coming out of the chamber. Like, it doesn't happen like that. Nope, chill out. You don't have it, like, it doesn't happen like that. And he sits on the couch with me and my 3 big dogs and my little Chiweenie and my boyfriend and I, and just watches TV. And he just yells at me all day as long as I'm not petting him. Like, as long as I'm petting him and, like, loving him.
I can't wrap my head around you, like, a chickening him. That's so crazy, dude. My bird would have my jugular. Health points with a 10, LX with 1, Tito with 20. Thank you guys so much.
Okay. Literally, Ranger would kill me.
Mm-hmm.
And Ranger is my baby.
Yeah.
He's my baby. And I'll show you guys him in a minute. But I want to show you guys the difference in the immature feathers versus the mature feathers. So Bruno is a Harris hawk. And so you can see the, like, speckling and the spotting on his chest.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, he's a good boy. And then you can see, like, all this and this.
It's like, no, you cannot.
You cannot lift my tail like that. But you can see the striping here. You can see it up here.
Uh-huh.
You can see the striping on his tail and stuff like that. And you can see that it's not solid all the way down.
Right.
And you can see the speckledness on the side of his feathers and on his legs and stuff. So Ranger, when he was a baby, he actually had... No, you cannot sit on the other arm. Thank you, though. He actually had little heart-shaped spots on his butt feathers right here. And I miss them so much, but he grew out of them and I cried. His dad only grew out of them when he was like 20 years old. And I'm sad that Ranger didn't. But the dad of this hawk was the first hawk I ever flew at 8 years old to do my first hunting with a hawk for falconry.
You hunted at 8?
Uh-huh. I hunted at 3.
What?
My mom used to put me on her front pack and go hunting with me with the hawks.
I didn't know that. What the hell?
Lucas and Lobo.
Oh my gosh. What? Lupus?
Uh-huh.
Dang, he's old. Is he still alive?
Yeah, he is. He's almost 30, and he's made 8 babies this year.
Holy shit. That's amazing.
Yep.
Oh.
So.
Very good. Okay, can you tell them a little bit about, like, training for abatement? Like, what does your day look like with Bruno?
Okay, so my day with Bruno, usually right now, because I'm in the middle of an abatement job, it consists of waking up, giving him a little bit food. Sorry, 1 second, everyone. It consists of giving him a tiny bit of food to get his metabolism started.
Mm-hmm.
And then throughout the day, I start asking him to do certain things. So, like, when I first took him out of the chamber, I would just ask him to sit on my glove, which he got like that. He's got beyond incredible genetics, and for some reason, he's just an absolute angel. So he's been sitting on my glove since day 1. He's been recovering himself since day 2, which Maya, I'm sure you know what that means, and I don't know that you all do.
Yeah, go ahead.
But that means when he starts to fly off the glove, and he does what's called baiting, he flies off the glove, but then he brings himself back up, and I don't have to bring him up, which is something you do when you're an experienced bird. So he's been doing that, and then he started doing hop-ups, which is something that we do to build their muscle, their chest muscles right here. And that's where we feel how fat or skinny they are. We feel what's called their keel.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I love you. We feel what's called their keel, and then we do what's called scoring. So if it's like this, it's a 1. If it's like this, it's a 2. If it's like this, it's a 3, 4, 5 is flat. That's where you can't feel their keel anymore, and they're really fat.
Mm-hmm.
And they have no motivation to fly or eat or anything. And they have no muscle tone, which is super important. So we're basically like Olympic athlete trainers for these birds. So we need to keep them in shape. We need to keep them doing their jump ups. We need to keep them doing their flights. So I just teach him that everything good comes from me, and that I'm always safety.
Mm-hmm.
And pick at my hands.
Gentle.
You can feed him.
Very nice.
Oh no, he's so the sweetest. So we just train them that everything good comes from us and that they can trust us and that we're never going to put them in a bad situation. We're never going to let them down. We're always going to make sure that they have enough food. We're never going to withhold food from them. If they don't do what we want them to that day, I'm not going to not feed him. I always feed them in the morning and let them get their metabolism going, let them have a little food, have a little energy, and then I ask them to do what they would naturally do in the wild also. So that's what we've been doing so far.
Didn't you say you got A to B's with this one on day what? 5? Oh my gosh.
Isn't that crazy?
When did you start free flying him?
I have not free flown him yet.
Okay.
I'm paranoid.
Yeah, no, I
And
don't even want
I've only been at Recology, so there's a ton of tractors around and there's a ton of machines around and there's all sorts of stuff, so I don't want to free fly him yet.
Fist of
And
Eden
I
just
wanna
tipped
get my new GPS
$300. Sorry.
What?
Fist of Eden just tipped $300.
Yeah.
$1,863. Yeah, I don't even, let's not talk about free flying because it's going to stress me out also. So, okay, guys, if you're just getting here, this is Sammy from Zoo to You Conservation Ambassador. She's here with Bruno Mars, the Harris Hawk. Zoo to You does, or all the animals at Zoo to You are non-releasable educational ambassadors, either because they're permanently injured or illegally confiscated pets. So that is who we're raising money for today. It's going directly to them. He's so cute.
Isn't he so cute?
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
I'm so in love.
I'm so glad. How long have you got him for?
2 weeks.
Holy, what?
Yeah, 2 weeks.
Oh my gosh. That's crazy. Chat, for reference, I've had Orion for 2 weeks.
Okay, wait, that was a previously trained bird.
True.
And that's a falcon, so that doesn't count.
True.
Falcons are so much harder.
So weird, but I did get my
Harris
first...
Hawks are like the puppy dogs of all hawks and falcons.
Yeah. Monka, thank you for the 50. Sammy, I got my first, flight. I have air quotations right now today. But not just to jump up.
I can't even see you. All I can see is just your...
I know, that's why I described the air quotations. No, I got, the length of his leash. A little, 4 or 5 times today. So I'm starting with the lure tomorrow.
No, don't bite on your lip. I just want to give you kisses. Tell me that's not the best bird.
He's so cute. It's ridiculous.
He's so cute. Okay, do you guys want to meet another animal?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. And then at the end, okay, so everyone remember how he looks.
Yes.
Because at the end I will show you Ranger, my tried and true
The star.
angel. And you will see how different the mature feathers versus the immature feathers look.
Wonderful.
Bye, Bruno.
Bye, Bruno. Thank you.
Bye, Bruno.
He's so cute.
Want cute and cuddly, or do you want the other one?
The other one.
Okay.
Yeah, chat. I got my first flight-ish with Orion today. I'll show you the video at the end of the podcast. But he's a totally different bird at 560 grams than he is at 580 grams. It's wild. Falcons are weird.
Falcons are crazy. You can they can be a difference of 2 grams.
Mm-hmm.
And then be totally.
Oh my god, it stresses me out. Hello, Gumbo.
Hi, Gumbo. Sorry, I kiss and love all my animals.
It's okay.
It's a thing. You kind of fall in love with them, no matter if they're scaly or feathery.
Someone said, "What the fuck? That's a lizard." Sammy, what's Gumbo?
Oh, I mean, kind of. So Gumbo is a North American alligator. He's about 15 to 20 years old now, at least. We've had him for 10 years. He's an angel. You can see how he's missing some teeth. Alligators lose their teeth over their lifetime, and they can go through about 10,000 teeth in their lifetime. So they drop down, for all you 90s babies, they drop down those pencils that you used to take the one piece of lead and you used to put it in the top, and then the next one would drop down, and you couldn't drop it down unless the piece of lead before was in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Raptor with $10, Knight with 5, Wana with 3. Thank you so much. And where did you guys get Gumbo from?
So Gumbo came to us because he was wandering around downtown Los Angeles, just around the street. And what happens is these guys, alligators, snapping turtles, and tigers, end up being one of the most confiscated animals for drug dealers.
Snapping turtles for what?
All of these animals. You are climbing around so much.
Earth, thank you for the 20. Okay, so he was a pet then in LA and someone let him go because I don't want an alligator anymore. Okay, cool. Got it. Dang, he's like squirming.
Or they thought they were going to get caught. Where are you going?
Never seen him move that
you'll
much.
Notice that he's just like walking. He's obviously not distressed. He's not opening his mouth. He's not like hissing or anything like that. He's just wanting to walk around because it's nice and warm in my house.
Yeah.
And he feels like he should be wandering around. But you shouldn't, monsieur.
He's got places to be.
You're not getting in a bathtub in my house. Oh, there we go. Oh,
can you tell us the conservation story of American alligators? It's one of my favorite ones ever.
Oh my god, yes. Okay. So, alligators are one of the biggest success stories and one of the only success stories we have in conservation. We have very few success stories in conservation. We're building that up greatly right now with somebody that Maya has interviewed before. He's from San Diego. John, no.
I don't actually know who you're talking about. What are you doing? Oh, Ben Novak.
Novak.
Yeah, Revive and Restore. He's brilliant.
So she's done a conservation cast with Ben Novak, who has been helping with like passenger pigeons and all sorts of stuff with like genetic remodeling of species that have already gone extinct. Mm-hmm. But this is one that we didn't let go extinct and we brought back, and it's one of the greatest success stories that we have. So alligators are what's called a keystone species, and that means that species is so important to the environment. Not necessarily that it's an apex predator. If you guys know what that means it's at the top of the food chain. So like mountain lions, alligators, wolves are all apex predators. Yes. That means they're at the top of the food chain. They eat the other animals. Nothing eats them. Mm-hmm. But a keystone species means that it is so important to that circle of life, to that ecosystem, that ecosystem cannot live without it. So not only was this an apex predator, but it was also a keystone species. So we started hunting these guys for their leather, for their belly skin, for boots and belts and purses and handbags and all that sort of stuff. And we hunted them to the brink of extinction. Now, when we did that, we didn't realize what we were doing. We hunted them to the brink of extinction. And what happened then was something that we didn't foresee. And here in America, we are really good at messing things up, but we are really good at bringing them back around as well. So we hunted them to the brink of extinction. There were almost none left. We saw land eroding. We saw whole herds of deer with snotty noses and 5 legs that we had to go out and euthanize.
Right.
Sorry. And
the reason for that chat being that alligators or apex predators picking off the weak ones so that they're all breeding.
So apex predators, what they do, and any sort of predator, they don't take out the young and the strong animals. They take out the old, the weak, and the sick. They take out the ones that you don't want perpetuating in the group. So they take out the ones that get fallen behind. They take out the ones that don't stay with the herd. So when you have a sick animal that's no longer being taken out by the predator, then it perpetuates in the herd and it makes the entire herd sick. And we kind of know what's going on here. Like it's
no selection.
No selection, yeah. So when these guys got taken away, those all didn't get taken away. They didn't get weeded out. And then what happened is it was an overpopulation of these animals that overate the grass. And then the grass causes the hills to erode. And these guys create the estuaries. And the estuaries are what creates the hydrologic cycle. So the water comes down, the water passes through everything. It goes into the estuaries, into the streams and the rivers, and then it goes and the sun beats down on it. The algae oxygenates it. The sun cooks out all the everything, and then it goes back to the ocean, and then it goes back up into the sky. So when that doesn't happen, you don't have that hydrologic cycle anymore, and then you get rivers that are on fire because they are so polluted. But in not my lifetime, but my father's lifetime, There were rivers in the United States that were so polluted that they were on fire, and now they are so clean that you can drink out of. And we have more alligators in the United States than we know what to do with, and now we actually have to make sure that we regulate them. And so we did a really good job of bringing them back. We had scientists that went out and had a really dangerous job, and they went out and they would go steal alligator eggs out of the wild, because normally only about 10 out of 100 eggs would survive, and only about 2 of those would survive to adulthood. So we would take those 100 eggs, we'd put them into incubators, and the way we did this, the way we funded this project to bring alligators back into the wild, was not a very savory way.
This is so crazy.
Very political.
Wait, Fernie tipped $33. Dan with 15. We're at our $2,000 goal, just by the way.
Oh my god!
Cool stuff. Okay, continue.
So it was not a very savory way, and that's kind of how things happen, as you guys all know, especially with it is right now. Everything is political. But what happened was the people that were using alligators for boots and belts and handbags, and using alligator skin for stuff and alligator meat for stuff, they were the ones that funded us saving the alligators. Which makes sense, because if we save the alligators, we save their profit.
Right.
But the deal was that they get 50% of the alligators we saved.
Right.
But that worked so well that we now have more alligators in the wild than we know what to do with.
Oh, that's so crazy.
Yeah.
That's like the weirdest, coolest story ever.
Yep, and that's how it happens. And it's a little scary and a little sad, but it's also really happy, because, you know, we did it anyways, and we had these people that were dedicated to doing it and dedicated to saving them, and we made the course of rivers change, and now we have little buddies like him.
Hooray!
But Harry, so this is the belly skin we
It's very
I
soft.
call this built-in slip and slide.
It's like silky.
Oh, it's
Soft.
so
it's
smooth.
nice. Yeah.
And then these are called osteoderms or osteodonts, and these are like nature's first solar panels. They have blood vessels that run up and over each one of them, and there's a bony plate underneath it. So if you can imagine the sun beating down on a rock, and the rock gets warm, and you take the rock out of the sun, and the rock's still warm. Well, that's how their bones work. So these things are sticking up out of the water. That bone gets warm. The blood vessels run up and over it, and then the blood vessels run through their body, and they heat the rest of their body. So it's literally like nature's first solar panels, and these guys are literally dinosaurs.
Can you tell us about their eyes, too? I saw them blink earlier. It's one of my favorite things.
Okay, look. Okay, watch this.
Did you see his eyelid, chat? How cool
Do you see his
that?
third eyelid? They didn't have to go far for alien movies. Wink. Wink. So they have a third eyelid called a nictitating membrane. You have the same one. It's this little pink thing in the corner of your eye. And yours is not nearly as cool, but theirs is a clear eyelid that goes all the way across their eye, and it's like built-in swimming goggles when they're underwater, and they close it to keep all the debris out of their eyes. They also have a flap at the back of their throat that keeps all the debris from going into their mouth when they're grabbing stuff like fish and turtles.
So cool.
But literally like alien movie.
Birds too, Chad, if you remember.
And they can also, birds have them too. And some of them have really cool ones, and they're like built-in windshield wipers. But like when you look at his eyes, watch this. So he can tuck his eyes all the way into his skull. So when they're doing that like alligator death roll, when they grab an animal and they pull it into the water and they thrash and bang, and they spin and spin and spin and spin and spin, they can tuck their eyes all the way into their skull, and it's not going to hurt them.
Sammy, somebody in chat warned you to watch your hand around his mouth. just by the way. Yeah, no, that's awesome. Thank you.
Gumbo's the sweetest. These guys know the difference between fingers and food. They only have what's called the basoganglia, which is just core motor functions. So once you teach them the difference between fingers and actual food, they know, and he's not going to bite my hand.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Gumbo.
No.
Good, that would get me in trouble. Okay, what else? I am blanking on the word for them hibernating and freezing?
Oh, I am too now.
Oh no. Chat.
It's not estimating, it's brumating.
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 Chat. They can hibernate when the water freezes over by just sticking their nose on top, like out of the water. What?
Look it up. It's so freaking cool. They can freeze so solid in the water that their heartbeat only has to beat once a day, and they only have to breathe one, or their heartbeat only has to beat once an hour, and they only have to breathe once a day.
Chat, look at
That's
this.
incredible.
Look at this. Water. Okay, that's not a good picture. Water literally freezes. Their nose sticks out of the water so they can breathe, but they're frozen under the water. These things are dinosaurs. I mean, they're amazing. Look at this. It's so cool. All right, what's up,
It's
Disco?
so amazing.
Hi.
It's amazing, and I've never, ever before in my life seen articles about it until literally last year, which is just mind-blowing to me.
So cool.
I've never been able to see actual pictures of alligators brumating in the water, and I love it.
So
Like,
cool.
I get more excited about nature than most people do. Like, my job never gets any less exciting.
You have more enthusiasm than I think anyone I've worked with. But that's where I got mine. So thank you. Okay, who's this?
So this is Disco. Or Forrest,
Disco.
depending on who you ask. So he's our old man. Oh, I'm sorry, he has red eyes. But this is Disco. He's a gray fox. And these guys are what you would normally see native to California or United States in general. Red foxes are not native. These guys are. Red foxes are a non-native species, and they are considered one of the most highly invasive species in the entire world because they can survive in almost any climate. So you see them everywhere, and they're everywhere because of fox hunting back in the early 1900s and the late 1800s. And they're taking over the habitat of these guys.
Yeah. And where'd you guys get Disco?
He looks like a little demon.
He does.
So Disco came to us from somebody who thought his mom had abandoned him, which when that happens, when you see a baby animal or several baby animals in one area, what usually happens is that those animals, their mom is laying in wait somewhere else, and she's like, oh my God, please don't see me, please don't see me, please don't take my babies, please don't take my babies. So typically, if you leave them alone, you can wait for the mom to come back, and the mom will come back and retrieve her babies. She's just scared of the people.
Tell them, Sammy. Oh my gosh.
But, yeah. But what happened with him was the person brought him into their house, and they tried to make him into a pet, and then a few months later they realized that he was not a pet, and that even though he kind of acted like a dog cat type thing, that he is not, and he started to actually act like a fox. And
weird.
I know, crazy. And he stinks worse than a skunk right now, just so everyone knows.
Yeah.
He smells way worse than a skunk. Way worse. And he's so gonna pee on my couch cushions right now, and it's gonna be great.
Yay, Disco.
Oh, yep, he just peed on
Yay! I'm so sorry. Oh my God. In good news, Doomer tipped $6. So we're at $2,006. Thank you. Good job,
You
Disco.
guys can see
Nice.
their big fluffy tails. So Disco is actually 12 years old, which is, oh, I know. Oh, the dogs are scratching at the door.
Uh-oh.
Oh, scary. These guys are super aloof. They're super scared of everything, even though we've had him for 12 years and he's one of the best foxes we've ever had. He is still very much in his natural state, and he very much acts like a fox. He marks on everything. He pees on all his food. He pees on everything he sees, and it's, like I said, stinkier than a skunk right now. He's peeing and rubbing on my floor.
See, I really appreciate seeing this though, because foxes, I've seen lots of Instagram accounts and social media accounts with pet foxes, and everyone's like, foxes are so cute and they think they're so cool. And that's what leads
so
people.
Cute,
They are.
They are so cool, but they absolutely act like wild animals.
It's
and
a great
they feed on
example.
everything, and they stink in general.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just that they stink. Oh my god, you're literally my boyfriend's gonna murder me when I get home. I'm gonna have to clean the house before he gets home. Good thing he doesn't get off until like 1 a.m.
Nice. Your guys' hours are nuts.
Our hours are very opposite. He was still up this morning when I was driving to work at 4 a.m. So.
Okay, you're nuts.
Yeah. So we were talking. Just go, please, no, please don't, no, come here, come, no, can you?
Anyway,
come here?
Chad, this is a good example for why they're really cute, but you don't want one of these in your home. And that's why you guys and a lot of other places get these animals, or why they're released and they don't make it in the wild, because people get them and they're like, they're so cute, they're so fun, then they grow up and they're a fox and they're like, oh no.
Correct. So like, even to note, the fox that was in Lompoc, there was a gray fox that people had habituated to people that they were feeding and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
They ended up, Fish and Wildlife ended up having to euthanize because it was killing people's chickens, because it was too accustomed to people.
Right.
And what happens is, and what we make people chant all the time, and like kids chant all the time in schools, is a fed bear is a dead bear.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you habituate an animal to people, it's not a problem for the people, but it's always a problem for the animal.
Mm-hmm.
And it always causes them to be a problem animal.
Especially the big ones, the carnivores.
Yep.
Yeah.
You see this all the time with bears and mountain lions. You see like mountain lion sighting, and it's always in a mountainside community. And then that mountain lion either has to get euthanized or relocated. And it's because people habituated them too much.
Mm-hmm.
And so like I said, it's never a problem for the animal. It's always a problem, or it's never a problem for the people. It's always a problem for the animal.
Right.
And it's just because we strive and we long so much to make these animals friends with us when we really shouldn't, because you don't want that.
Right.
And like, even though he is friends with me, he still catches his own food inside his enclosure every day. He uses his kibble and his fruits and stuff, and he sets them on the very edge of his enclosure and like makes these little rows of them right outside his enclosure. He'll push some out, and then he'll push some right inside, and then he'll push some even closer than that, to lure in squirrels and pigeons and things. And as soon as they come right inside his enclosure, he catches them. He catches at least a squirrel or a pigeon or something every single day.
Killer.
It's crazy. And he's been in captivity since he was 4 months old.
How old is he now?
He's 12.
Oh, jeez.
He's way too old. He's way older than his life expectancy. Their life expectancy is about 10 years old.
He looks good.
He looks great.
How is Nick, the red fox?
Nick is so good. So Nick has his new friend.
Oh, yeah.
Who was staying at my house for a long time.
Yeah.
I was training. And he's doing great, too. So he's a red fox that is colored differently. He's black and... Look at my disco. He's black and white and gray. And he's still a red fox, but he's a color morph called a silver fox. Like George Clooney. And but those guys are bred specifically for the pet trade or the fur trade.
Mm-hmm. So that's where you guys got him from?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he came from the pet trade.
I'm glad they're friends.
Oh my god, they have so much fun together. They
That's
just
so
run
good.
around in circles and circles and circles and circles and circles and chase each other. And Anna the coyote,
What's up? OBS just crashed. Sorry. I don't know what happened. Okay, we're back.
we're back.
Okay.
So I wanted to talk to you guys. Chat, that's what we call
Yes.
them, right?
Chat.
Okay. Chat. I want to talk to you guys about some like super current issues with the environment. Not only issues, but I wanted to tell you about a like success story too. I wanted to give you some like bad news and some good news. So what do you want first?
Let's do the bad news first.
Bad news first. Okay. So, bad news, and I heard from my chat that you guys are not all Trump friendly.
They know that I'm not. I don't know how many of them
Okay.
are, but I think most the general consensus is everyone thinks he's dumb. But continue.
Okay, cool. So, and I'm not saying anything against him, except I am, so I'll just get out my notes.
Let's get into it.
I hate him. I hate him for what he has done to wildlife.
Here, okay, yes, Twitch is blue. This topic for me and Sammy especially, one of the biggest reasons that I don't support Trump is because of what he's done with the environment. I think that's something that you guys can understand. This is kind of an objective conversation in that sense, but go ahead, Sammy.
Okay, so there is this wildlife refuge called ANWR, or that's what they call it. It's ANWR. It's the Arctic National Wildlife Refuge. It's up in northern Alaska, across northern Canada. Now, in ANWR, there is a huge oil field. And for like 40 or 50 years, they've been trying to mine it. But here's the thing. I mean, obviously, we don't like that in general. Anyways, it's a fossil fuel, and we're going to run out of it. So why mine it when we're just going to run out of it, and it's not going to help the environment in any way, and it's not sustainable, and it's not going to it's just going to run out and deplete, and then we're done with it, and then it's going to affect so many other things. So here's what has been the issue and the defining factor of people mining with ANWR is that there is a herd of reindeer. I mean, there's tons of different herds that migrate through this place, and there's tons of different things that migrate through this area. But there is this specific herd of reindeer called the mosquito herd of reindeer. It is the largest migration in the entire world. Largest in the entire world. You guys have all heard of the Great Migration in Africa. That is not the largest in the world. The largest migration of any animal in the entire world, of any group of animals in the entire world, happens right here in North America. Right here. And it's called the mosquito herd of reindeer. The reindeer migrate from northern West Alaska. And the reason they're called the mosquito herd is because what happens, they're on this specific river called the Mosquito River. I know.
Nice.
It's called the Mosquito River, but what happens is what starts the migration is there are so many mosquitoes on the river at the beginning of summer that it actually causes the reindeer to start their migration through to eastern Canada.
What a nightmare.
To the other side of Canada and then all the way back. There's billions of mosquitoes, so they call them the mosquito herd. Now, with that, reindeer cause all sorts of I don't even know how to address this. They do so much for the environment. They not only carry different seeds and stuff, as well as spread seeds. They churn the soil, just like the bison in America that we've been re-releasing, and the buffalo and all that stuff, because they eat the stuff and they churn the soil and they respread the seeds. So the reindeer do that, and reindeer eat mostly only lichen. And for a 1,200-pound animal
It's a lot
to
of lichen.
only eat this tiny little piece of grass all the time is kind of crazy. That grows only through the snow. So they're one of the only spreaders of this thing. Now, when they're making their migration like this through Canada, through Alaska and Canada, there are different species of microfauna, obviously, like the lichen and stuff like that they're spreading throughout, and they're keeping alive, and they're spreading for other species like snow hare and butterflies. And there's actually a type of caterpillar that takes 12 years to become a butterfly.
What? What is it?
12 years to become a butterfly. I don't remember. I was just watching a TED Talk, and then I was researching it more the other day. There's this caterpillar that takes 12 years because it freezes so often that it curls up into a ball and it freezes, and it takes 12 years to make metamorphosis.
Yeah.
It's dependent on those reindeer coming through and bringing that lichen through and all those other plants through to be able to eat on during the only warm months.
Okay.
while it's metamorphosizing.
Neat.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy. But like everything from microfauna to the megafauna, there are certain families of polar bear that are stationed along the migration path and have been generationally for over 400 years that are dependent on those reindeer migrating through that path.
Mm-hmm.
So if we were to even change that path a little bit, we would not only see microfauna, megafauna, but certain groups of people go extinct.
Wait, why?
Because of oil mining, which is only a temporary thing. There are certain tribes of people that live in that path for the reindeer.
Yeah.
To be able to eat them during certain times of the year while they're migrating through.
Jeez.
So the Trump administration currently is trying to push that through as fast as they can.
Right.
And I almost used a cuss word, but I didn't. I was trying not to. They're trying to push it through as fast as they fucking can.
Right.
Which is fucked up. Sorry, not sorry, everyone. It was fucked up. So that the Biden administration cannot do that. The other thing that they're trying to push through right now is the Tongass Forest, which they're trying to open for mining, logging, and drilling. And they're rushing that through with the Trump administration as well.
Mm-hmm.
And because it, like, Biden can change it, but he cannot cancel it.
Right.
So if they pass it through, he cannot cancel it, and it will take him a year to 2 to 3 years to change it. And as far as, like, Anwar is concerned, and the guys, the largest migration in the entire world. And we're talking 10,000 different species that would either become endangered or extinct in less than 6 months with this going through.
Mm-hmm.
And they're trying to push it through in like a month or two. I'm hoping, to whatever you believe in, that it doesn't go through and that they don't get that. And I really think that they won't, because they haven't in the last 20 years gotten that to go through.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm crossing my fingers and hoping they won't. And one of the first things Biden said he's going to do when he's in office, he said the first day he's going to re-sign the Paris Accord, which is big, if any of you know what that is. And I hope
elaborate on it for everyone?
the Paris Accord is essentially an agreement between a bunch of continents and countries in the world that we are going to do right by the environment and start to use different kinds of renewable energy and be good to our earth
Mm-hmm.
that we live on.
Sweet. Gabe, thank you for the $20. Sluz with 100, Danny with 18, 47, James with 15, Anonymous with $1, Hero with $3. So that's $2,164.58.
Oh my god, thank you guys.
Sammy, I never do this with other guests, but I have to pee more than I've ever had to pee in my life. Can you just talk to them for... Okay, I'll be back. I'm so sorry.
No, you're fine. Okay, so I'll give you guys the good news now. So there is this, and I wish I could see your guys' comments chat. I'm really sorry that I can't. All I can see is Maya with her head in a blanket like this. And I apologize. But, so the good news is that we're doing a lot to help. I mean, aside from Trump doing everything and aside from like what we've undone and stuff like that, we are still making progress. We are still doing good things. And if you ever get to look at the TED Talk video of de-evolution, watch it. It will make you cry happy tears. We are in the age of de-extinction. Like, we are now able to recreate species. We have San Diego Zoo right here in California, like right here in the United States. We have species that are coming back to life that we're breeding with other species. Like, we're implanting eggs, and San Diego Zoo has a frozen zoo, and I'm sure you guys have watched that on Maya's podcast before, but like, it's just absolutely incredible, and we get to watch this de-extinction happen and hopefully save the planet. But there is this island that is between South Africa and South America, and it's considered the most remote island in the entire world. And they just got granted protection of 270,000 acres.
Yay!
For marine area protection.
That's
so
awesome.
It will be arguably the only true wild place on the world, like in the world, because it's still the indigenous people and nobody's ever reached it yet. So like it kind of like not to be rude, but Thanksgiving, which is kind of a funny topic right now because the original Thanksgiving was giving a communicable disease to the native peoples.
Happy Thanksgiving.
So nobody has been allowed to touch that island. Nobody has been allowed to go there because they don't want to kill off the native population.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then they just granted them protection. So that's
big time. That's awesome. Time. What was that documentary called that you mentioned? So I can link it to him.
Oh, so it is. It's a TED Talk.
Oh.
And it's about de-extinction. I think I've sent it to you before.
Wait. Is it the evolution? 4 billion years of evolution? No. You're talking about the de-extinction one, like with Revive and Restore, like with Stuart Brand?
Yes.
Oh.
And it talks about Ben Novak.
Yeah. We can watch that, chat. We had Revive and Restore. Stuart Brand.
Revive and Restore is the book he wrote, isn't it?
It's his organization. It's a whole organization, but. Stuart Brand founded it, and he did a TED Talk. We can watch it on stream sometime. But Ben Novak is the one that we talked to. We may have watched
that was
it.
The one
I don't
I was
remember.
like, you need to talk to this guy.
Yeah.
And that was when you were just starting. You were like, I don't know if I can.
No, I did not think that I could. I remember we watched that in the car on the way to some show or something. I don't remember.
Yeah.
And then you're like, you got to get him on, and I was like, no, like that's not gonna happen.
Like, oh, I can't do it. You were like, I don't know these people, and I was like, no, you so totally can. You have to.
Yeah, that was cool. Hero, thank you for the 5.
Thank you.
And Kick with 10.
Just like that video to me. Like, there's so much doom and gloom in the conservation world, and it just brought a bit of joy to it, and it gave hope to what we're doing, and that's so important.
I think it's this one, chat.
And I think I cried with you last time.
We watched it in the car. Probably.
Oh, I probably cried then, but like every time I talk about bald eagles.
Oh yeah, Sammy cries every time she talks about bald eagles. Sammy cries when she sees a bald eagle.
I cry when I see a bald eagle in the wild.
Yeah.
It's like the most important thing in the world to me, because when I was 10 years old, I've had bald eagles my whole life. We're one of only 30 facilities in the entire U.S. that have been granted not only bald eagles to take care of, but to be able to go out and bring them out to shows and stuff like that. And we have to hold 7 different federal and state permits to do so.
Right.
And I've always had bald eagles in my life. That's just been a thing. But when I was 10 years old, I got flown to Alaska to see a bald eagle in the wild for the first time. And that made me cry at 10 years old. And then 3 years ago, I started seeing bald eagles in my backyard because they have made such a big comeback that I now get to see them at home. And it just like, I can't express to everyone how much it means to watch an animal come back from the brink of extinction.
Right.
It's breathtaking.
Ms. hosted with 8,000 viewers. Matt. Hello, everybody. Gabe just tipped $100. Welcome to the Conservation Cast. It's episode 50. It's a very special episode. We're talking with Samantha Jackson from Conservation Ambassador Zoo to You. It's a rescue zoo for permanently injured wildlife or illegal confiscated pets. So all of the animals that they have are educational ambassadors. Your donations are all going straight to them today. Gabe with $100. We're at $2,279 in donations. Sammy has brought some animal ambassadors for us to meet today. We've met 3. We've met a harrisock, an American alligator, and a gray fox.
And we can revisit them if you want.
Hooray! Actually, if you want to bring Gumbo out again, that'd be great. I think they'd like to see that. Okay, so she's gonna bring one of our friends back out so you guys can meet him. I do this podcast every week. This is my big thing on this channel. We raise money every week for conservation. Usually it's species specific, so we talk to biologists, conservationists, ecologists about their research about a particular species while we raise money each week. You can go to conservationcast.com if you'd like some more information, but I think we've raised over 60K or something like that at this point. So episode 50, good stuff. Gumbo!
Gumbo!
Hooray!
Maya's worked with Gumbo a ton.
Oh yeah, he's my friend.
Yeah. Oh, he's so cold right now. You know, here's his little titzer that's missing. Who knows why?
That's how I tell them apart. Gumbo has a friend.
No, the other one's missing his Tootsie
What?
too.
Oh, I didn't know that. Gross, thank you for the 10.
His too.
Chat, Gumbo is an American alligator who's 15 to 20, something like that.
Yeah, somewhere in there.
15 to 20 years old.
They can live to be 60 to 80 to 100. They usually only live to be 60 to 80, but they can live to be up into 100 years old. They can live to be over 100 years old, although super not common. But just like people, you can live over 100, and it's a thing, but, like, it's not common.
Prehistoric beings. Also, he was found...
Literally.
Yeah. He was found walking on the streets of LA.
Wandering downtown LA.
Nice. Also, chat, this organization is very near and dear to my heart, as is Sammy. I interned at this organization, I volunteered there, I did social media, but this is where I fell in love with birds, where I fell in love with exotics. So I used to, in California. Bug Snacks, tip $10. Thank you so much.
We miss her immensely.
Oh my god, you don't even know.
Every day.
I'm not coming home for Thanksgiving because of Corona. And part of what I was so upset about is not being able to go to the zoo, because I was gonna kidnap Sydney for 4 days, and I was gonna see you and everybody in the new enclosures. I know. Slez with $100. Sydney is an umbrella cockatoo that you guys have probably seen clips of.
I know. I tried to get her to come out, but she's nesting right now with her best friend Peaches, and they're taking turns laying on their unfertile eggs.
Classic. Slez, thank you for the $100.
And she was like, "You can go." And I'm not coming out.
I like how you like.
That is your mom.
You gave us the finger, but you like bleeped the fuck. Very
okay, wait.
good.
Okay, chat. Every time I get in a fight with Sydney, the cockatoo, every time she doesn't want to do what I ask her, every time she's being sassy in her enclosure, in her habitat, or whatever, every time she's being sassy outside, you know what I do? I'm like, fine, you know what? I'm going to call your mom.
Uh-oh.
And I call Maya and I FaceTime her, and then Sydney's like, hey.
She just puts her crest up and she's like,
bird in the world, because Maya's on the phone.
I miss her so much. Oh my god.
Chill out. You want to get warm?
No, Sydney. Yeah, Sydney's wonderful. Also, what else do I have to tell you? Oh, there's a quiz at the end of the podcast, so if you'd like to stick around for that, it's pretty easy, even if you weren't here earlier, if you got here from the raid. You're welcome to join in. You can get a gifted sub to any channel, to my channel, or you can have me donate an additional $5 today to Zoo to You. He's so cute, look at him.
He's so cute. He's the only living dinosaur. These guys lived literally when T-Rex was walking the earth. They're almost exactly the same as then. Like, literally.
Amazing.
Like, they were just, like, Nile crocodiles now get 27 feet long, and the super croc that they found from 30 million years ago was only 30 feet long.
They're literally the same. They survive everything.
They're literally exactly the same, and their body is exactly the same. These guys are made to survive.
Brumation.
Brumation.
Brumation. I'm pulling it up.
I can do like a 3-hour-long talk on these guys if you ever want me to.
Brumation, chat. Brumating. They hibernate when the water is frozen by sticking their nose out of the water. They can breathe through their nose, but they're frozen underwater, and they can hibernate like this. Isn't that the craziest thing you ever heard? They're dinosaurs. They can survive anything. They're amazing animals.
They just have to have their little nostrils out of the water, and they can freeze from here down.
So cool.
And then they only have to breathe once a day.
So great.
And their heart has to beat once an hour.
Lisa tipped $3, Madge with 100, KZ with 50, and Josh with 10. We're at $2,553.
So happy. I just want you all to know that this literally helps so much. We've been so hurt by COVID, and this is literally like it's heartwarming to say the least. And I want to cry, but I'm trying not to cry tonight.
Proud of you. This organization.
Because I cry at everything, so I'm trying really hard not to.
All of the animals that this organization. So look at him. All the animals that this organization has are educational ambassadors. So they go out to schools and programs and county fairs and events and programs, and they teach people and kids about animals to help them to fall in love with the species. So Gumbo is an animal ambassador for American alligators to show people how cool they are, so that people are inspired to care about them. Hopefully that's working. Locke with 50, thank you so much. Yeah, he's really, really cool. And he's very
really cool. Sweet.
Very sweet and tolerant. Okay. Oh, there's a question doc that I totally forgot to shout out at the beginning. Usually we go off a lot of viewer questions. You can do hashtag ask followed by your question if you have one. I don't know, we end up talking for like hours, so I didn't even think about it. But let me... Okay, a couple questions that have come through. Does Gumbo live in water?
Not all the time. So alligators do not need to be in water 24/7. They can be out of water for a long, long, long time. Water is their preferred habitat, but it is not necessary. They can go weeks without water, actually. So, just like any dinosaur.
Ryson, thank you for the 15. Let's see. Sippy asked, do alligators regrow parts? Not sure specifically what parts he's talking about.
So they regrow their teeth. They do not regrow limbs. I believe that they could regrow like the tip of their tail, not actually regrow it, but they keep growing their entire life. So their tail would grow. It would probably still be a little nub at the end, but it would probably grow into a skinnier area that would eventually look like a tail again. But they do not regrow areas, but they continue growth for their entire life, and they will regrow teeth their entire life and go through about 10 to 20,000 in their lifetime. So if that answers your question.
All right. Okay, and this is a big one that I'm surprised we haven't talked about. Goat asked, what's the difference between an alligator and a crocodile? Are you the one
who... see you after a while, and one will see you later.
Okay, thank you. From the expert. Are you the one who told me if it's chasing you, it's a crocodile, or is that your dad?
Okay, I say that too.
Okay,
so here's the difference between an alligator and a crocodile. There is no difference. They are all crocodile. They're all crocodile. Generally speaking, alligators are freshwater to brackish water, and crocodiles are brackish water to saltwater. Generally, crocodiles are saltwater, and generally, alligators are freshwater. Generally, alligators have the rounded snout with the pointed down teeth, and generally, crocodiles have the pointed snout with the pointed out teeth. That is not always true. It is generally true. But if you run, an alligator might chase you, probably not. But if you run, a crocodile will chase you.
That's what I think. The first time I asked when I was interning, Chris with 5, Allie with 10, Josh with 20. Thank you. Yeah, I think when I was interning, I asked that question for the first time.
Here, wait, you want to see him wave?
Hi, Gumbo.
I'm a really good trainer.
Amazing. What a impressive behavior. When I was interning at this organization, I asked that question, and her dad was just like, if it's chasing you, it's a crocodile. And I was like, okay. And then Sammy taught me later on, I think, is how that went. Smelly asked, were you scared of animals when we were younger? No way.
No, I was actually less scared of animals when I was younger.
Actually,
Now
same.
I'm like a little freaked out about cockroaches and like smaller spiders because I'm afraid of them crawling on me. I'm now like, I'm not afraid of animals biting me. I'm covered in scars and scratches and kicks and bites and stuff, and that just comes with the territory of the job. Like, you get paperwork or you get paper cuts when you work in the office, and you get like, you get shot when you work for the police, and you get burnt when you work for the fire department. Like, it's just part of your job. It's just a job hazard.
Right.
It's a thing. So, like, I know I'm gonna get kicked, bitten, and scratched. And that's just whatever. And it doesn't usually cause me any pain. And if it does, I hope that it leaves a fun scar so that I can tell a fun story. But it usually doesn't, especially with things like snakes and stuff. But I don't like animals that I cannot read.
Yeah.
That I can't tell what they're thinking.
I have a hard time reading reptiles. I can't read reptiles. Tevin, thank you.
Yeah. Thanks, Kevin.
Yeah, Tofa asked, what's the most difficult ambassador to work with? Like, actually, overall in your lifetime, and then, like, currently at the zoo.
Oh, shoot. Okay. Overall in my lifetime, the most difficult ambassador to work with.
Mine's Kayla.
Nah.
You're not scared. This is, I'll show you what she is.
My father is the most difficult, the Homo sapien.
Yes.
Most difficult ambassador to work with.
Okay, fair. That's fair. This is what Kayla is, chat. Dude, we were cool for so long.
So I'm totally, like, I tell people all the time, I'm totally against primates. Like, I mean, I said that wrong. I love primates.
Yeah, just not your thing.
But, like, not my thing.
Yeah, no, same.
Not my thing. And they are not meant to be pets.
Yeah.
You could hand me $1 billion and I still wouldn't keep a monkey in my house as a pet.
Oh my god.
Like, it wouldn't happen.
I think my perspective on primates is similar to that of parrots, and I think it's just that I'm too dumb. Like, they outsmart me and I just can't, I get myself in bad situations with them.
Not even that. They're not meant to be in captivity.
Yeah.
They're not meant for that lifestyle. And it's just like, they get so frustrated being in this lifestyle that it just causes all these bad behaviors and what we call superstitious behaviors. So a superstitious behavior, chat, is when you're asking your dog to sit. And you're training it to sit, but it's tapping its back leg like this. That's called a superstitious behavior. It's a behavior that it's doing even though it knows that's not the behavior it's supposed to be doing, and it's still doing it anyways. So monkeys, sea lions, any other like very smart sentient beings do those behaviors all the time. Now, we've had elephants that are like doing their poses and doing this and that and the other thing with people that don't train them like they used to traditionally train them with like cattle prods and hooks and very archaic training methods that don't do that anymore. And the elephant is doing these superstitious behaviors, like kick over an entire water fountain at Arnold Schwarzenegger's house.
Yeah, Sammy knows Arnold Schwarzenegger pretty more than most people.
He's like my dad.
Yeah. Yeah, Kayla and I got along for the longest time. And
Kayla's doing so much better, and Crazy is like a cuddle bug to everybody now.
Crazy's a capuchin monkey.
Yeah.
That's good.
Naked. She forgot her pants.
What?
She forgot her pants! She's naked from here down now.
Yeah. She's missing some fur.
She forgot to wear her pants.
Yeah.
That's how I describe her.
I did get along with Maya, though. Maya's a black-handed spider monkey. She was cool. I miss her quite a bit.
Okay, I'm gonna leave you for a second because now I have to pee.
Okay, bye.
Just for a sec. I'll be right back.
Okay, we got some more questions here. I'll probably read some of them out as we get back. But I'll answer my most difficult ambassador questions. Goodbye. My... Currently, the most difficult ambassador that I work with. I don't really work with... Well... No, Ori's not particularly difficult. I don't work with the raccoons much at the rehab center, but those are our most difficult ambassadors. I'd say by far. But over my lifetime, yeah, no, Kayla it's got to be Kayla. I don't know. And I never even did free contact with Kayla. I was always protected contact outside of the enclosure, because she would probably rock my shit if I was working her free contact. This is the monkey that grabbed my ponytail and pulled me to the ground from inside her enclosure. She's ripped out chunks of my hair. She's stolen my knife. She's no joke. But she's really cool. Super, super smart. What's up, Russell? No. What ambassador has been difficult that I've worked with free contact? I don't know. I guess I don't know. I guess the lemurs can be kind of a lot, but not really. Yeah, there is a tiger at the zoo, but she was always obviously protected contact. She's super lovely. I'm not really a big cat person, though. Can you explain pre-contact? Oh, free contact, as in like how you interact with your dog, as opposed to protected contact, where there's something in between you two. Hero, thank you for the 477. Welcome back. Hi. What's the easiest ambassador that you've ever worked with? Like an opossum, probably. Right? I don't know. What's easier than an opossum? Like a blue-tongued skink.
Yeah, I mean, like, reptiles are definitely super easy. They just have basic ganglia, like I was talking about with the alligator. So they're super, super easy to work with because it's just literally core motor function. So training them. So in the middle of your brain, to explain to everybody, is your basal ganglia. Your basal ganglia retains all of your core motor functions, and that is like breathing, talking, eating, riding a bicycle. If you've ridden a bicycle and you learned how to ride a bicycle, and then you pick up a bicycle like 10 years later and you still know how to ride a bike, that's because it got stored in your basal ganglia. So basically what happens is when you do something between 99 and 109 times, it gets stored in your basal ganglia. So when you eat, talk, walk, ride a bicycle, ride a skateboard, whatever you're doing, it gets stored in your basal ganglia. So reptiles, and they call it the reptilian brain, is just the basal ganglia. So it's smooth. Your basal ganglia is super, super, super smooth. And that's how we define the different brain functions of different animals and different species. And what happens is when evolution starts to happen, and I'm sorry if y'all don't believe in that.
Oh, please. Go
okay.
ahead. No. Not here.
So what happens when evolution happens is your brain starts to get more of these ridges in it. And you start to get your frontal cortex and all sorts of stuff. And you start to get a more rigid brain. And it looks like our brain now. And it's got all these ridges and creases in it and stuff like that. And that means your brain's more developed. Koalas still have a smooth brain.
Yeah.
They're not a smart being. That is why they sleep for 22 hours a day out of 24.
Yeah.
But reptiles have just the basal ganglia. So they're super easy to train. They're super easy to work with. They're, in my opinion, they're a super good first pet for children. Like a bearded dragon is a super great first pet because you only have to clean it like once a week, once every 2 weeks. You only have to feed it like twice a week. It's a super good pet to like let kids learn on to then get a dog because it's not as needy as that animal. So sorry, what was the question?
Before you, Bethica, thanks for the 10. Before you left, did you answer the hardest ambassador question?
Oh, the hardest ambassador. Ooh. I don't know. It really depends. It's not a specific species answer.
Mm-hmm.
It's more a specific personality answer.
Mm-hmm.
Because every single, like, you can train, say, tigers or lemurs or whatever your entire life,
Right.
but every single one is different.
Right.
Every single tiger is different. Every single slow loris is different. Every single lemur is different. And you're never going to not learn from that animal. So when you stop learning and when you think that you know something, when you think that you're the, like, end all be all, you're like, oh, I've trained that animal before. Like, I don't need you to tell me how to train it.
You're screwed.
You're screwed. There are learners and there are knowers. Don't be a knower.
Mm-hmm.
Because you will never stop learning in your life. And if you ever stop learning, you die.
There you go, chat. Don't stop learning or you're dead.
Don't stop learning or you're dead. I literally learn every single day. Every time I go to a show, even if I've had a lemur on my show every single day for my entire life, which I have, I still research lemurs on my way to a show every single time I do a show.
Mm-hmm.
I still research the animals that I have on my show every single day because there's always something to be learned.
Right.
And there should always be something to be learned. Otherwise, then what's the point of living if you can't find out something new or something fun or something exciting? And even if, like, I go to a show and I'm listening to somebody else talk about lemurs, I either sorry, I'm saying that wrong. My brain's working faster than my mouth. I either learn something that I want to know,
Mm-hmm.
that I'm like, wow, that was really cool. I didn't know that. That's new knowledge. Or I learn a new way of describing something. Or I learn how I don't want to talk about something.
Right.
I'm like, oh, that wasn't right. And I wouldn't like to talk about it like that. So you're always going to learn something. So always listen, always be open to knowledge and always be willing to learn.
Yeah.
And always try to learn. Because when you stop learning, you stop living. And that's kind of the era that we're in right now, is like, we're learning so much about other people and other cultures and other beings and what we're doing to help them or to not help them and stuff like that. So when you stop learning, you stop living. So continue learning.
Don't die, chat.
Continue trying to learn about anything and everything. Every time you leave the house, every time I leave the house, I try to learn about something new.
Mm-hmm.
Even if I think I know everything about it, I still try to learn something new. I still look up videos. I still look up podcasts. I still look up, like, everything I can about the species that I'm talking about. Even if I've been talking about it for the entire 27 years of my life, I still try to learn something new.
True.
Like, I learned something new from Garrett the other day.
What was it?
He was talking. I was doing a private tour with him, and I was trying to get him, Garrett's for chat. Garrett is one of our glorified interns, and he's been with us for 2 years.
He's a keeper.
I call him glorified intern. Yeah. He's one of our glorified interns. He works 1 day a week. He used to take care of the entire zoo 7 days a week for us for a long time, and he's been an employee, and he's been an intern, and he's been a volunteer, and he's been a rock star for a long time, but he has a really hard time public speaking. So I was trying to encourage him while we were doing a private tour the other day to speak to the tour group and to talk about the animals. So I encouraged him to talk about birds of prey, which is something that is his passion. And he was talking about ferruginous hawks, and he taught me some stuff while he was talking about ferruginous hawks that I didn't even know.
Huh.
And so even the people that you're teaching can still teach you something, and that's something that everybody should take hold of and know and feel that they can learn from anyone at any time.
Yeah, that's
and you
cool.
shouldn't ever feel superior to someone in your knowledge. You should feel maybe superior to them in your wisdom, but not in your knowledge, because you're always going to learn something new, whether it be positive or negative. You're always going to learn something from somebody else speaking.
There you go. Based on your answer about it being more about individuals and not species, I changed my answer to be Tico.
Oh, yeah.
Fuck that bird.
Oh, heck yeah. You murder bird?
Yeah, dude.
You guys saw my Harris Hawk in the beginning of this, my little angel.
Yeah.
And then I have Ranger, who is my 4-year-old, who's also an absolute angel, but does not want to be touched. He'll follow me anywhere. You can hear Bruno in the background again. But Shantico, the reason we have her is not because she's injured, not because she was somebody's illegal pet, not because she was anything like that. The only reason we have her is because she wasn't like a Harris Hawk. Harris Hawks live in family groups. They're one of the only hawks in the entire world, one of the only raptor species in the entire world that live in big family groups.
The wolves of the sky.
She would not. She wanted to murder everything, and she still does. So she, we call her the murder bird because she will literally drag she weighs 2 pounds.
She is a killer. Do not let that fool you.
2 pounds.
Anytime I went in her enclosure,
at most, like 1.5 to 2 pounds, and she will drag a 50-pound perch to go attack another bird.
people have to wear helmets in her enclosure. She would come down and attack me. I would have to scrape her off my leg with a shovel because she just wanted. Oh, she was so tough.
Oh, my hands are so dirty, but
Tico,
this scar right here.
Nice. Speaking of Harris Hawks,
slicing open my hand.
Can we see Ranger?
Yep.
Our last new friend. So, if you guys were here at the beginning of the podcast, we met Bruno Mars, who is a young Harris Hawk, new to Sammy, relatively new, 2 weeks in with Sammy. Ranger is her OG Harris Hawk. He's also used for abatement. And he's very, very cool also. I actually have some really cool videos of Ranger that I can show you after. I think it's Ranger. In your mom's videos with him flying through small spaces, that's him, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I'll show you those in a minute. I'll find it, actually.
Oh, can you look up our TikTok?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna do right now. Oh, okay. Okay, TikTok, shut up. View profile. Here's a video. Falconry Life?
Yeah.
Here's a video of Ranger. So they do falconry experiences as well.
So we'll do a conservation cast on that sometime too.
Yeah, that'd be sick. I gotta get your mom.
We'll talk about not just falconry experiences, but about falconry in general and about bird abatement as a natural pest abatement too. Oh, did you really just poop on my couch?
You're having a tough time today, Sammy.
You monster.
I'm sorry about that. Here's her TikTok if you'd like to see it. I've learned everything that I know about falconry practically from Sammy's mom and from Sammy.
It's what I've been doing all day today.
Yeah. With your birds. Do you bring both of them with you?
Yep.
Do you fly Ranger then?
Yes, I do. And then I bring Bruno just to train.
Okay, cool.
So, kids, I know you can't see it right now, but I am wiping poop off the couch. So, if you go to college and you spend a lot of money and time, you too can pick up poop with your hands. And I suggest it be animal poop instead of human poop.
For sure.
Just
high tip $10, Snorpy with $10, and Gobi with 1,000 bits. With the bits a while ago, I hope you're still here. He asked if alligators are fireproof.
I wouldn't say that, but if they're underwater and they're brumating, probably yes.
There you go. Ranger! He's so cool. How much does he weigh? He's kind of big for a boy, isn't he?
No, he's only about 680.
Oh.
Graham.
Maybe it's the angle. He looks like a good-sized bird. Yay! Everybody say hi, Ranger.
See, okay, so you guys that have been on the cast the entire time, you can see the difference between him and my other little baby that I was talking about is like just an angel. He doesn't like as much being touched.
Did you hear? Was that him?
Yes.
Your bells.
Oh, so you guys can also hear the bell on his ankle. So the bell on his ankle is for when I'm flying him. When I'm flying him and I'm out hunting rabbits or something with him, this bell.
You only have one bell, or did one fall off?
Nope, just one bell.
Oh.
So we have a bell on his ankle that is so that when I release him, I just let him go. And then he just follows us around. And what happens is while he's following us from like power line to power line or from oil rig that go like this to oil rig while we're trying to scare the prey animal out of wherever, I can hear where he is.
Mm-hmm.
So that bell lets us know where he is in the field. So I don't have to constantly watch him, but I can constantly hear him.
Because of all the new people that are showing up, this is called abatement. We talked about it a little bit before, but Sammy's job is to go out to places. It was Recology today, so essentially a landfill, and her job is to bring her birds out there to scare away seagulls and other pest animals that they don't want at that location. So that's what she's talking about.
So it's a natural-based pest abatement instead of using pesticides or bombs or all sorts of other stuff that cause harm to natural animals. And instead we use a natural type of abatement to scare away those animals instead of kill them and kill other species in the process.
He just did a really cool head bob there. He's like, oh. It was like, what is... Oh, no, what is that?
Oh, come on. It's a cup. Really? Really?
He does not like that. Your drink is... That's a no. Nice.
Come here. Come here. I know, you're not as cuddly and snuggly as Bruno. Oh,
No.
Jerry is.
Aww. You want to tell us about the plumage differences? If you guys remember seeing Bruno, you can already probably tell, but like his chest.
Yeah, so like Bruno had all this spottiness on his chest and his wings and stuff, and you can see how Ranger is just this solid chocolate color. That's the reason we named Chantico what we named her. Chantico was a... You guys are all going to make fun of us. Chantico was a drink at Starbucks that came about that big.
I didn't know that.
It was about that big. It was like about a shot glass size. And it was this super concentrated, like, hot chocolate type thing. And it was just super dark. And so we named her after that drink. So you can see how he's solid colored. And then you can see his tail that's solid colored into the little white stripe. Even underneath is the solid color. Into the solid color. Into the solid color.
Nice. Someone in chat asked if you free fly or does he have a lead on or something?
He has a lead on right now. So these are called anklets. This is called a jess. And then this is called a leash. And then I take all of that off except for his anklets when I free fly him.
There you go.
And then he also has, which he's not going to like me doing, so bear with me. He has a little piece of plastic right here that we call his backpack that I hook a little tiny GPS unit to so that I can see where he's flying at all times.
Little transmitter.
And what his altitude is, what his speed is.
Yeah, what have you
all
clocked
sorts
him
of
at?
stuff. I've clocked him at 95 miles an hour.
Shut up. That's awesome.
Yeah, which is not normal for Harris Hawks, everyone. That, like, doesn't usually happen. It was just because there was wind.
Yeah.
And he caught it going around a corner. But I did clock him at 90.
I went out...
I don't like my cup.
I went out with that... He really doesn't like it. I went out with that falconer the other morning to fly his peregrines. He clocked one of them stooping at 75, and he was like, lazy sack of shit. And then his next one stooped at 94, and he's like, that's a little better.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I get that for falcons.
Yeah, no, it's not... It's pretty slow. 75 going straight down.
That's pretty slow.
Mm-hmm. That was it. He was like, lazy sack shit. I was like, okay. It looked cool, though.
I mean, it's amazing.
Yeah.
But for a falcon.
Peregrines can dive at, last number I saw was 280 miles per hour.
So I got to meet the guy that flies his peregrines. Okay, so you've heard of the guy that dives out of planes with his peregrines, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I got to meet him, and they clocked his peregrine at over 360.
What? I have not heard that number. What?
360. 360 miles per hour. And 20 G's in a stoop.
Holy shit. Chad, this is like, he literally jumps out of a plane with his bird, and his bird is going faster than him, free falling from the sky.
So this is what they had to do. At first, they were like, he trained his bird to jump out after him. And then that was cool and all, but then National Geographic wanted to do a story on it, and so they wanted to see how fast the bird could go. And so they would drop a lure, but then the lure would reach terminal velocity, and the bird would catch it.
Right.
And the bird wouldn't go much faster than he did anyways.
Uh-huh.
So then they started to train the bird to use him as a lure.
Mm-hmm.
So that he could break terminal velocity and do this stuff. And so they'd send people out of the airplane at 18,000 feet, and they'd place them like this with cameras, with high-speed cameras.
Mm-hmm.
And then he would dive down, and then they'd send the peregrine out to dive down the cameras, and over at 360 miles per hour.
Okay, that's
then,
disgusting.
Yeah, fucking crazy. Sorry, pardon my language.
No, I've been swearing too, it's fine.
Insane.
And Jay-Z
Fucking
asked,
insane.
how do the Falcons not pass out pulling 20 Gs?
Okay, 8 Gs makes a human pass out.
So cool.
Just, like, I get excited when I see shelf fungus. Like, you guys, it never gets any less exciting, and it never gets any less cool.
I actually do too. I just joined the Texas Mushroom Identification Facebook page. It's sick.
So cool!
It's so interesting. Okay, sorry, tangent. How do they not pass out?
Okay, so they have these. Oh, actually, Ranger has them too.
Yay, Ranger.
So you can kind of see in the side of his nose. There's like, if you would turn your head, you can kind of see this little finger sticking out of his nostril. And what that does, it's like an airplane. So there's the hole for his nostril, and then there's this little finger sticking out. That finger pops the air bubble in front of his face. It makes sure that he doesn't get suffocated while he's diving down. The reason they designed airplanes like that is because they found that on falcons, and falcons can defy terminal velocity, and so that's how they defined jet airplanes.
There you go, chat.
So when you see like an airplane engine with the engine on the wing,
Mm-hmm.
and then the little finger sticking out around the propeller, that's to break up the air bubble so that the engine doesn't suffocate.
That's pretty
Because
sick.
if there is no oxygen, there is no life. And that's for almost every other species. I'm going to go ahead and put him away because he's very upset with me.
Okay, that's fine. That's very cool. All right.
You let me touch you and kiss you, Olivia. You're not happy.
Someone said kilometers per hour, not miles per hour. No, miles per hour. So falcons, like peregrines, the way that they'll get their prey is they concuss them midair. They'll just knock the shit out of them, stooping at over 100 miles per hour, sometimes over 200. Apparently, sometimes over 300 miles an hour.
From like 18,000 feet. That's not normal.
At 18,000 feet, they can dive that fast. But yeah, the falcons that I watched the guy fly the other day, they were only diving at like 95. So that's pretty typical. And they were diving 95 from 2,000 feet up. So for like a more realistic, on a normal day kind of flight. There you go. Only 95. Show a bit of them concussing. I can probably actually find one pretty quick. Fucking diving. Well, here's this.
Here, I had to let out my other wild beast.
What is it? What?
She's been crying.
Delilah? Oh, here he is. I have a video up with the guy diving.
The wild bingo.
Delilah!
My other two are outside. Oh god, your breath stinks so bad. Oh my god. Did you
Look at
hear
that
her?
bird. Yeah, I do.
Did you die? Did you die being separated from me?
Aw, I miss her. She's so cute. She's like the best dog ever, chat. This is one of those dogs that like you don't put a collar or a leash on, you just put her in the car and then get out of the car when you're at Home Depot and she just walks in there and then walks out with you, doesn't look at anything else, just chilling. Just like
Baby
a
Yoda.
Velcro dog. She's so cool.
I can't wait.
But also holds her own around exotics all day.
Oh yeah.
Seen her walk by tiger cages countless times. She just doesn't care.
Mm-hmm.
She's so cool.
Oh yeah. Go over to the pillow. Make yourself comfy. Go ahead.
What is that animal? That's a dog. Okay, so we're at $2,700.
Baby dingo.
$2,707.77. We went on. Usually my podcasts are an hour. I knew this one would go a little longer, but it's probably a good time to start closing up here. I know you guys asked some questions. I know I didn't get to very many because I knew that we were gonna just talk. Anonymous at $500. What the heck?
Stop it!
That got us to 3.2K tonight. Thank you so much. That's insane.
Crying.
Sammy's crying. I haven't seen you cry in a minute. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. It makes me happy to see you happy too. And a lot of people have stuck around from that raid, and I really appreciate that. What's the highest podcast amount? I don't know. Do you need to be up at 1:30 again?
No.
Okay, hooray! Good.
I'm off until Monday at 1 a.m.
Is that a record? This might be... maybe. I don't know. This is a big one. Okay.
Thank you guys.
Thank you, Sammy. I know you've had like a ridiculously long day, but that was wonderful. Thank you for bringing them home for us to meet too.
Thank you so much. I can't tell you guys how much I appreciate it and how much it's gonna help the animals. Like my heart is so full, and I know that sounds so cheesy, but like it really is, and I really appreciate everything you guys do for Maya and everything you guys do for conservation, and it really makes my heart full.
Oh, yay! This organization, like a lot of others that we talk about or have talked to on this podcast, has been hit especially hard by COVID. Organizations that rely on the public and rely on donations, nonprofits, have been hit really hard by the pandemic because obviously they can't go do programs with a bunch of kids in classrooms and stuff like that. So this means a lot. And also, I wouldn't want anybody else on this episode. This is super, super special. You guys changed my life. You know that. So, hooray.
It's my goal in life, so I'm glad I did.
You're doing it!
And
You're
I just
amazing!
wanna tell
Okay.
people that, like, this means so much to me. It means so much to me to be on Maya's 50th podcast, and we strive every day to do what we can to bring people closer to animals. And I'm sorry, I'm crying a little bit, but we strive every day to bring people closer to animals, and the fact that we get to even touch one life sometimes, and sometimes we have a little kid that on their like 4th birthday asks for birthday presents for the animals instead of for themselves, and you see a million people a day and you work yourself to death, and and it seems shitty and you're overworked and super tired and you're underpaid or not paid or you're a volunteer or whatever, and then you get this one kid that does that, and Maya is that one person for us, and it's just super great.
That was so nice. Thank you. Tara took $50, Hunter with 12, and Dion with 30. That got us to 3,300 flat. So that is a record for the podcast, which is brilliant. Thank you guys so much. Yeah, this is awesome. And thank you for bringing in the new research too. I appreciate hearing about that.
I literally, like, when I get to get on your podcast, like, I get so excited because I get to talk about the stuff that I love, and I get to talk about, like, new stuff and old stuff and everything that pertains to conservation, and it's just such a great platform for me, and I get so excited that, and especially when you said that we inspired you to do this, and that just makes my heart so full.
I would not be here without you guys. 100%. I wouldn't even like birds without you guys. So yeah, it's pretty much my identity.
You're gonna make me cry more. I've got to go more and keep crying.
I'll when COVID's better, I'll come back and we'll do more stuff on stream. And
you better.
Yeah, I know. I miss it. I miss you.
I miss you too.
Okay. I'm gonna do an outro. I'm gonna do the quiz, but I will text you tonight. I don't know what time you're going to bed, so I'll text you to see if you're awake, and then if you're awake, I'll call you.
Okay, sounds good. I love you.
Okay, I love you. Bye.
Thank you, chat, so much.
Yay, chat. All right, I'll text you when I'm done with the final amount, whatever.
Okay, bye, guys.
Bye. Dude. Red Knight with the $3. $3,303. This is a big one for me. Chat, this is a really big one. Sammy's great. Sammy, yeah. She is great. Sammy's like, not only an inspiration to me and not only has taught me so much of what I know, she's also like, she's been a friend to me all through college. She's like held me in the bathroom crying over boys, held my hair when I've thrown up. She's like a true friend. So this was really special. I'm really, really glad that she was able to come on today. And the organization. I cannot stress enough what that organization has done for me. I don't think that I would be here. I don't think that I'd be streaming. I wouldn't be streaming. I wouldn't have been on LSF probably if it weren't for that organization, because I got bean from them. Like, I started falconry at that organization. Before that, again, I had no interest in birds. So, like, yeah. So they mean a ton to me. So it's kind of like a full circle thing to have them back on, and for the 50th episode here, to raise this much money is amazing. I can't believe it's been 50 episodes. It feels like we just started. It feels like a new podcast. To me, anyway. Like, I'm still learning so much, but I still feel like this is new. But we've been going strong for a long time. As for the raid, we've held on to quite a few people. If you're here from Matt's raid, I really appreciate you hanging out for this long. I know that some of the information can be kind of dense. I know that it's not for everyone, but my favorite thing that I do on this platform is this podcast, because my passion is conservation and my passion is teaching people about animals and about our planet so that they can learn to love our planet as much as I do. Your boys with $197. $3,500. Twitch is an untapped reservoir for doing good. Come on. Who would have thought? There are lots and lots of people that I have, I don't know how to say, that I've caught enthusiasm from when it comes to animals, when it comes to wildlife. Sammy is one of them. My mom is one of them. The people that I work with now who are watching, hello, are up there as well. I appreciate all of it, and I appreciate all of you for being here for the podcast and supporting it too. And again, if you're not able to donate to this podcast, which I totally understand, or if you don't want to, which I totally understand, you being here to watch is the purpose of the podcast itself. Koopa with $100. Koopa, you donate to this podcast all the time. Thank you so much. Anonymous with $500. $4,150. Dude. Okay, that is a record. That is a record. Will, would you mind pulling up the total of what we've raised for the podcast? All of them? Okay. If you're not able to donate and you're here, that's the point of the podcast. That's the reason I created this podcast, because in the end, we will only conserve what we love only what we understand, and understand only what we are taught. People, once they learn about things, start caring about things. Once they fall in love with animals, start caring about animals. We're at $66,346 raised just on this platform, just on this podcast. My channel is a whole different story, but for conservation causes across the boards, for leafy sea dragons, for bats, for bears, for chimps, for birds, for like sharks. I mean, you guys know, there have been so many episodes. You can go to my website at conservationcast.com if you want to see, for snails, if you want to see some of the episodes. Thank you so much for the $50. Zaritas with $5. Lovely Hash Browns with $100. Another donation from Lovely Hash Browns. Thank you so much. This is insane. Okay. I feel like I'm rambling. Long story short, since I got to college, I decided that my purpose in life was to witness and be a part of the comeback of at least 5 species that I care about. I've said that from the beginning. If you were there at this when I started streaming, before I got on LSF, like the first time I talked to Ms., I said that. That's been my purpose for, since I got in college, since I started with this organization. This podcast has done all that and more for me. And it wouldn't have worked out that way without you guys watching and donating and learning along with me. So it's my life. It's literally my purpose in life. It's everything that I want. So it means a lot. Rowdy with $25. Thank you so much. All right. I'm trying not to cry. Okay. So, next order of business for the podcast. Anonymous with $100. $4,435 today. S-Raid with $200. Dude. What? Somebody asked me, actually one of the live questions was, oh, I just lost it. Los Pollos Bros asked me, what's the hardest part in maintaining a streaming career alongside working with conservation? Oh my God, if you would have asked me this, a year ago, I would have been like, they're totally different. That doesn't make sense. Turns out it is the most... Al, thank you for the $20. Hunter with 15. It is the most positive, powerful, beautiful intersection that I've ever come across in my life. A platform like Twitch, I mean, no offense, but a platform like Twitch is traditionally gaming and, chatters on Twitch, to cross that with conservation and, serious in-depth research and important things, world-changing things. Who would have thought? It's amazing. Thank you for the 5. Please give this $5 directly to the crows so they can rip it in half. Okay, well, wrong organization, but I do appreciate it. That's the other thing. Yeah, I mean, working with the ambassadors at the center now and working at the rehab center now, I'm able to do rehabilitate individual animals and release them into the wild, which is super, super fulfilling for me because I care about those individuals. But then I get to every week sit down and work on a larger scale for their species. M-Law, thank you for the $50. So I'm really just touching on all bases and it feels so good. Anonymous with $100. Oh my gosh. Warber with 10. Okay, the next order of business is the quiz. If you're new to the podcast, we have a quiz every week. It's 5 questions, 20 seconds per question. If you win by getting the most answers right the fastest, so you got to click fast to get the most points. It's on a point system. If you win the quiz, if you're not already subbed to my channel, I will gift you a sub to my channel. If you are already subbed, I will gift you a sub to a channel of your choice, or you can ask me to donate an additional $5 to Zoo to You today. Anonymous with $50 and Zach with 20. And Aurora Luna with 50. We're gonna hit it, chat. We're gonna hit the 5K. Pause, champ. Aurora with 50, thank you so much. Chandlo with $10. Thank you. And Hunter with 15. Thank you so much. All right. God, we're so close. That's crazy. I already said the rules. Yeah. So if you win and you're already sub to another channel, or you can ask me to donate an additional $5 to you today. I'll already be donating 20. Y'all already know why. ZT with the 5. Thank you so much. And Tipsy Nomad with $100. Oh my god. Okay, 5K easy. Monkaroo. Lovely Hash Browns with another $100 donation. And Monkaroo with 20. Jesus. Okay. Monkaroo with $20. Thank you so much. All right. $5,205. Insane. Okay, so I need a second to create the quiz here, but you have to enable access so that I know who you are. You can do command quiz. It'll take you to a page on my website where it'll show you how to do it. It'll walk you through it. If you're on Android, iOS, PC, Cry Havoc with $120. What the fuck? Okay, let me create the quiz. Okay, I need like 2 minutes to do it. And I'll be back. Okay, hold on. I need to open it. Here we go. All right, chat, I'll be back in a minute. Let me create the quiz, okay? Doomer with the $5. Thank you so much. Yeah, it's just ridiculous. Sorry, it took a minute. Okay, quiz time. Are you ready? I will read the questions to you before I send them to you. So the first question is, what kind of hawk is or are Bruno and Ranger? What is an ambassador? An ambassador, for what we spoke about today, is a non-releasable animal, whether it be because of a permanent injury, because it was an illegal confiscated pet, or because of an imprinting issue. And the only other option to euthanasia, because he can't be released, is to bring it out to schools to let it be an ambassador for its species to help people fall in love with them. What kind of hawk is Bruno Ranger? Is he a zone-tailed hawk, a rough-legged hawk, a red-tailed hawk, or a Harris hawk? 3, 2, 1. I'm sorry, I didn't read those. Hopefully you did while I was talking and I wasn't too annoying. The correct answer is a Harris hawk. They're both Harris hawks. Red-tailed hawks are bigger. You've probably seen them on my stream. It didn't show up. I think it only showed up for some people. I think it's scuffed. All right, well, if you can see the quiz, you can see the quiz. But only 36 people got it. Should I send it through again? Yeah, let me send it. Let me do it again. Okay. Maybe it's breaking. Maybe it can't handle more people. Is that? No, because Nim does it with a bunch of people. It's breaking on Nim's stream. Whoa. It's 45 people said red-tailed hawk and 36 people said Harris hawk. It's working for some people, but I just tried to restart it and it did the same thing. So I'm just gonna have to keep going. I'm sorry if you can't see it. What's one purpose of apex predators? Are they grazing? Do they not have a purpose? Are they pollinators, or do they remove weak prey from populations? Seems fine now. Okay, good. The correct answer is that they remove, or one purpose of apex predators is that they remove weak prey from populations. 410 people got that correct. Good. It's looking better then. Got sent to more people. It was a pretty easy question. What even is grazing? What horses do? Like grazing on vegetation as they travel. Who got it right the fastest? LX. And then Cal, and then Warber. But Warber is in the lead right now. The next question is, in the wild, what's the rate of alligator eggs that survive to adulthood? What percentage of alligator eggs survive into adulthood in the wild? That's a tough one. Is it 10%? Is it 15%? 100%? Or just 2%? I don't know this one. It's a tough one. We kind of blew by it, but Chuck caught it. So the correct answer is just 2% of alligator eggs survive into adulthood in the wild, despite laying many. I think she said like 100 or something like that. They lay lots of eggs. Ooh. 164 people got that correct. 219 people said 10%. That was the questions on a 2-hour podcast are much harder, for sure. Yeah, that makes sense. Monkaroo got that right the fastest, followed by Sneak and Co, but M-Law is in the lead, followed by Dager and then Bucky. 2 more questions. The 4th question is, how many times do alligators have to breathe a day while brumating? Is it 5 times a day? Is it 25 times a day? Is it once a day or 2 times a day? The correct answer is just once a day. Brumating is the hibernation process that alligators go through, where if water freezes over, they can stick their nose out from the top of the water and breathe that way, but the rest of their body is frozen, so they only breathe once a day, is what Sammy said. 284 people got that right. But who got it right the fastest? Bow, 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 bow. Vertag, then Acom, then Rude. But M-Law is still in the lead, followed by Dager and Bucky. Last question. Will somebody pull ahead? How old is Disco, the gray fox? Is he 3 years old? Is he 12 years old? Is he 16? Or is he just a year old? My hint for you is that it's above his expected lifespan. The correct answer. Mass misclicked. Oh no. Oh, AE got them right, except for the last 3. The correct answer is 12 years old. 293 people got that right. The expected lifespan for Disco is about 10 years old. Drumroll, please. Who has won the quiz on the 50th episode of the Conservation Cast? M-Law. That's a high score. Well done, M-Law. Okay, is M-Law subbed? They're subbed. All right. I am not going to be able to see what they say or what they want me to do. Five to org, I see you. All right, green. Here we go. Do, 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 do. People claps in chat for Chuck for writing the questions. Thank you. All right. Hold on. 2-factor. Pause, champ. Here we go. Okay. Before I get offline, I want to show you guys what happened with Ori today, because it was my first, what I would consider, flight for him. Look at this. That's some serious, I mean, that's flapping. It's not even a jump. Pretty sweet, right? So even if you don't know that much about falconry, I think it's pretty clear that all you need to do at this point is back up. And then they just fly further. Oh no. Yay! Okay, so looking like a real falcon. Tomorrow I'm starting with the lure. So I'm super excited. Space, thank you for the $1. No, well. Okay, thank you. I'm starting with the lure tomorrow. Once he gets good on the lure, I'll start going outside and hopefully start streaming some training sessions with him finally. It's been a while. It's a slow process. I'm being as patient as I can be with him because he's just very, very cautious and takes a slow hand and takes a lot of patience. Max, thank you so much. I appreciate that. So, all right. What's up? Everyone from the center's here tonight. Thank you so much. Severe, thank you for the bits. So, let me say my last thing about, well, I'll just be repeating myself. But for the podcast, and then I'll get into other stuff that you guys should know before I end. You already know that this podcast means the world to me, that this is what I want to do with my platform. I cannot believe how lucky I've gotten with this platform, and that my goal is to teach people, and I want people to fall in love with the planet. Scott, thank you. So, Sammy just texted me saying she's actually crying. I've gotten so lucky with this platform and to be able to do what I've done with it. The amount of money that we've raised, but more than that, the amount of awareness that we've raised for so many different species across the board. I really try to get some variation in there, from, snails to bears. So, and I love learning about all of it. I think all of it's so cool, and I'm glad that a lot of you think that as well. Maybe give your brain something to actually, turn the cranks on Twitch. So it means a lot that you're here. I love doing desktop streams, and thank you, and IRLs, and obviously I'm really excited to do more rehab on stream, but this is by far the most fulfilling part of my job. Oh my god. Is my job. I really do have a lot of fun streaming. But this is it for me. This means the most to me. Tipsy Nomad with another $131 donation. Dude. You're insane. What? Sage with $31. Thank you. Sammy's just sitting there and all these are popping up on her phone. Thank you. So yeah, this means the world to me. Doing what I do with this platform means the world to me. I'm super, super passionate about it, and I appreciate that you guys watch and support me. It's my dream. It literally, I can't think of anything else more fulfilling for me to do with my life than what I've gotten to do on Twitch. So, thank you. Frederick, thank you for the $197 to even it out. $5,535. I appreciate that. Okay, so we'll close out informally the 50th episode of the podcast. Zudio, you can keep donating if you'd like. Zudio, wonderful organization, so special to me. I really want to do more with them once I go back out to California, and I'm sure I will. Sammy's one of my best friends. She's amazing, so I'm very happy with how that went. And these donations are ridiculous. People clap. Thanks for the 567. Bernie forever with $100. Dude. $5,642, Bernie. Thank you so much. Okay, so that's it for the podcast. There won't be a podcast next week because I am moving on Saturday. So I want to pack my boxes and stuff on Friday. So I'm hoping that there will be a podcast the following Friday. There should be, but it'll be in Matt's house if it's there, and hopefully nothing gets in the way of that. But still, I haven't scheduled a podcast for 2 weeks from now, just in case, because life is going to get pretty crazy within the next month, with us moving in the new house and everything. Scott, thank you for the $1.36. Are you moving? Okay, so Tanya with the $3. I'm in this house until the 29th, and then I moved from this house to Matt's current house, like where he streamed today. And I'm probably going to set up my PC in Yerob's room or something. And Ori's also going to be in there with me. And then I'll be at Matt's house until they finish the dog yard at the new house, because I don't want to move in until my dogs have an outside space. So their estimation is December 10th is when I'll fully be in that house. But all my stuff is getting moved there on the 29th. I'll just have a suitcase at Matt's place until then. Or with $53 to even us out to $5,700. Dude. What the heck? This is insane. Nathan, thank you for the 5. You know, you're right. I should do that. Okay, so that's the general timeline for moving, right? So people clap with 567. Thank you. Well, that's the general plan for moving. I'll keep you guys updated. I mean, I'll be streaming between then. So tomorrow morning, I will be on Nick and Melena's stream. I'll probably get there at 9:30. Straub with 20. Thank you. I'll probably get to Nick and Melena's at 9:30 because we'll be cooking for Friendsgiving, which I believe starts at 12. Tomorrow's a big stream. OTK Friendsgiving is tomorrow at 12 o'clock on Asmon's stream, I believe. Yes, right? Do I have that right? Mrs. stream. 12 o'clock on Mrs. stream. I'll announce it in my Discord. Wait, what? He might not be streaming. What? Chubby with 5. Emla, thank you for the 20. What's wrong? What? Is this a pasta? He's not streaming because he might be getting ready for the Friendsgiving Thursday? How is that a classic? That's the dumbest pasta I've ever seen. Huh? Okay, whatever. Okay. Nick, thank you for the 2 months. Alright, so Asmon's streaming in the morning. Nick and Melena are streaming in the morning. I think Asmon's streaming. I don't know what Asmon's doing. I'm not talking about Asmon. Nick and Melena are streaming in the morning. I will be there. I will be cooking with them. Friendsgiving at 12 o'clock on Mrs. stream. So be there for that tomorrow. Then S-Vand is doing a stream after our Friendsgiving as like a post-event stream. Sunday, OTK has a big charity event. So you'll have to tune in for that as well with packs, opening packs, which is really neat. And then, gosh, what else am I missing? I have the schedule on my phone. No, yeah. So Asmon's streaming in the morning on Sunday, then OTK, charity Pokemon unboxing at 4 p.m. on Mrs. channel, and then Rich is streaming in the evening, doing a charity stream as well. Cool. What time is it for Nick? I think they'll go live before 9 a.m. CT, so early, and I'll be on their stream at like 9:30 a.m. CT, and I will announce it in my I'll put it in announcements. I'll like link their channel and say that I'm on the cooking stream, and then I'll link it when it's on Mrs. stream, and you know the drill. So join my Discord if you'd like to do that. Twitter, it's my Higa6 if you want to. Oh, Instagram. I am very close to 100,000 on Instagram. I'm at like 99.8. So if you want to follow my Instagram, Hunter, thank you for the 1.57. It's Maya_Higa. I post a lot of animal content on there. I always say that. I got a DM the other day and they're like, there's no animal content on there. It's on my story. So it's nearly daily that I post animal content on my story. the posts themselves are not animal related. But yeah, so my_Higa is my Instagram. I will see you tomorrow morning on Nick and Melena's stream. Thank you again if you hung out from the raid. I hope that you come back on Fridays for the podcast. It's a really good time. Not next week because I'm moving, but hopefully the following. Scott with $1.43 to make it even, $5,759. The podcast is really late tonight. It's usually about 2 p.m. CT. So this is super late. I'm super tired. They're probably at the house. I kind of want to go because we're all super excited about the house. So yeah, I'm going to grab the outro. And that's it for today. I don't think I'm missing anything. Boogs, thank you for the 5. The money raised today was absolutely nuts. I'm gonna host. Who should I host? Who's live right now? I could host Dr. Lupo. He really needs it, huh? No. Greek is live. Is he? Cutie? Is Cutie alive? Cutie Cinderella? Yeah. Alright, I'm gonna raid Cutie, but thank you for being here. Thank you for the donations. Thank you for learning with me. Thank you for being here for the 50th episode. I can't believe how long it's been, but I cannot say enough words about how much it means to me. I really can't. I'm just repeating myself. So Twitch is an untapped reservoir for doing good. Really glad to be here. Thank you for making it possible for me. It's just so fulfilling. I don't know. All right. I will see you guys tomorrow morning on Nick and Melena's stream, and then for OTK Friendsgiving. As for my actual stream, I'll see you on Monday. Hunter, thanks for the 6. To even it out, again, 5,770. Yeah, I'll stream on Monday, but I think it'll be an IRL. Okay, bye guys. I started working in exotics, 4 years ago or something like that? Working at zoos and getting internships and stuff like that. Then I fell in love with birds of prey at one of the zoos. At Zoo to You!
One of the most popular streamers right now. This is Jupiter. He's 8 barn owl.
That is insane!
Yo, 1.3K.
Thank you
Thank
guys
you.
for donating. Thank you for...
I'm literally tearing up. Because, alright, this is not supposed to happen.
Twitch is an untapped reservoir for doing good. I will send you this cute thank you card. It has some names of some donators and some viewers on it.
That's awesome.
And I'll tweet this out to you.
We're super excited. 22. That's awesome.
Those of you who donate, thank you so much. It means the world to me, and it means the world to those guests. It's still really important that you're here and that you're watching, and that's amazing also. Bye guys.